Welcome to Joe Stone Unboxing. Just a quickie, said the vicar to the games mistress. Let's talk quickly about Joseph Parker. He weighed in at 276 for his fight with Martin Bakole, not Daniel Dubois. 12 pounds more than his previous highest weight of 255, so that's nearly a stone heavier. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Now, before we go any further, Martin Bakole is apparently, or he was at the time of the weigh-in, still in the air, flying over from the Congo, not from Britain, which is where he's based. He's, of course, trained by Billy Nelson, lives in Scotland a lot of time, but according to interviews with other people who know more about this than I do, he was over in the Congo overseeing the building of a new house. And if I work with a lot of African lads from, Ghana, Nigeria, and so on. I don't think I've ever worked with anyone from the Congo, but an awful lot of these African, not just the men, but the women, they are in Britain and they send their money over and over and over, and they save a bit, and they build their own houses from scratch. This is not an uncommon thing in like a nice neighbourhood. So this is what Martin's doing, spending some of his thoroughly deserved money that he's earned, and God knows he'll be getting he could probably buy the Congo with the purse he's getting tomorrow, I would imagine. We're talking, strong 8 figures. So he's going to live like a king over there, and who can begrudge him that? But he's actually still flying over, or he was at the time of the weigh-in, and he is due to arrive in Riyadh at 2 a.m. on the day of the fight. So I don't know what his biological clock's going to be like. In photographs we've seen, I think they are recent photographs, he looks extremely big, 300 plus, 320. You see, before this weigh-in, I was thinking if Parker comes in at sort of mid-250s, late 250s, and Bakole is, as we suspected, going to be 300 plus, that will work to Parker's favour, because he can, jab, move, do all that highly intelligent boxing that he does, that he's very good at, that he did against Wilder and to a greater extent against Zhang. But at 267, all right, yeah, it's a bit heavy. I thought it was a bit heavy. Look, who am I to second guess Andy Lee, Joe Parker, and all his nutritionists and everyone else? Well, I'm no one. But at the same time, you don't need to be a chicken to know what an egg is. And I just have a concern about that. Now, Bakole, if he does come in at 310 or something, 320 or even just 300, he's going to be slow-footed, obviously. Talk about stating the obvious. And if you look at him against Jared Martin, as good as that performance was, he was, well, he certainly wasn't quick, was he? You might say, well, he's never quick. But I think to pin someone down like Parker over 12, and this is a guy who's had a proper camp, a serious camp, against another guy who's a come-forward banger, but he's quicker, that's Daniel Dubois, of course, then I think Martin might struggle. But it is over 12 rounds, 36 minutes of fighting. There's nowhere to hide in there. And I think that I'm still slightly favouring Parker. I'm not going to do a full-fledged video, preview video, because I just don't know. We don't know what shape Bakole's in. He hasn't had a camp. He was training for a Jagba. Billy Nelson has said that he'd been training for the last 8 weeks. He's been sparring and getting himself fighting fit as well as fit. And he's naturally a very big man anyway. But, I mean, Christ almighty, we're talking big lads in here, aren't we? I hope they've reinforced the ring. And if he is big and slow and cumbersome, you've got to have the power. You've got to have the wherewithal, the means, the tactics to use that power. And I have to wonder, I mean, Joseph at 267, he's not going to be as fast as we expect him to be, or that he normally is. And I said in my preview video for Dubois versus Parker that Joseph has looked a little bit brittle, a little bit vulnerable, when hit against Zhang. I mean, I know Zhang's an enormous man as well and hits very, very hard, but he was clipping Parker and shaking him. And I've got a feeling that Parker, even though I think he's only about 31, and he's 33 at the most. I did have concerns when I was doing that preview video for Joseph in that respect. But I mean, Bakole, he'll put the pressure on. I wonder if this is going to go the same way or a similar-ish way as Big Baby Miller and Dubois. Remember that fight? Where Parker will start off quick, and then it will slow down a bit in the middle rounds and Bakole will get closer. And then Parker will pull away in the last, 4 rounds, 5 rounds. Without going into anything, because like I say, I'm a pure guess. This is just a guess. I would think, with all things done, the sheer nuttiness of the whole build-up, the fact that Bakole hasn't had a proper camp, he hasn't had time. What does he pack his bags, jump on a plane? He hasn't had time to even think about tactics. Although I'm sure Billy Nelson will discuss something, but it's going to have to be a sort of go in there and wing it sort of performance from Bakole. I think Parker should win on points, but do I say that with any confidence or even any real thought that's gone into it? No, because we don't know what kind of state Bakole's in. But he is weighing in tomorrow, obviously. 2 a.m. he gets to Riyadh, and he'll take it from there. But let me know what you think about this. So I'm going to go for Parker on points as a guess. What do you feel? You just leave your comments below like you always do. I'll have a read. I always enjoy reading your comments. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button as well. It's all happening. This time tomorrow, I'm doing this about 9:30 on the Friday night. We'll be well into the card. But any thoughts about anything to do with the card, leave them below and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.